Today we're going to set up a D-Guard S. D-Guard S is the one with the sounder and strobe on it. It's exactly the same as a normal D-Guard, it just has a relay board and a sounder and strobe on top. What we see here is 0, which is 0 ppm, which is the amount of H2S this detector is reading at the moment. We know this model is a H2S because it says so there, it's ppm, and the full scale is 100 ppm. To enter the calibration and setup mode, you loosen these two screws. This screw will come out loose, this screw will stay in. When you drop the door down, this button here is depressed and it enters the calibration mode. So, as you notice, the scale is changing. In the calibration mode, we're now in 0. To 0 the unit, you'd press the two buttons together, which would auto 0. As the unit's already reading 0, nothing has happened. This number here is the digital pot. There's a 256 steps in the digital pot. This one is showing it on step 140. So you can manually adjust it. As you can see, the reading is changing. If you press them two together, it will bring it back down to 0. If you press this button, it will then go into the span mode. This is where you'd put calibration gas on and you'd adjust the pots accordingly. If you've got a preset calibration value into the unit, you can press them together. While the detector's in the span mode, press and hold the select button down for a few seconds. It is now set up, it has now entered the setup mode. First option is the calibration gas, is the gas you're detecting. You can change it to whichever gas you particularly need. All the parameters are self-stored within the unit. Press the select button again, and DP. DP is the decimal point. So what we're doing is adjusting where the decimal point sits in the range. Press it again. We are now adjusting the full scale of the detector. Now alarms. As this one is a sounder and strobe version, the alarms are on. But you can turn the alarms on or you can turn the alarms off. Alarm 1, we can then adjust the alarm level accordingly. As this one is set up at 5 ppm for a low alarm and 15 ppm for the second alarm, high alarm. Now we do the cal gas. This is the pre-span gas calibration value. This one's 25 for 25 ppm because that's the calibration gas you're using on this particular unit. G3 is the gain. This is more of a high service which allows you to change the gain of the detector for different sensors. And this is whether it's ppm, percent LEL, percent by volume, so forth. Zero suppression. This gives you a zero band of 3% of full scale around 0. So it just allows your detector to read 0 so you don't see the mild wandering of the sensors, 1 or 2 ppm. Auto 0, Auto Z, on or off. This feature monitors the sensor output over a set period of time and will perform constant auto zeros on the detector to keep the unit within calibration. And LCD contrast. This will then allow you to adjust the contrast of the LCD for operating in different temperatures. So you can make the LCD brighter or duller. Average. This is set on an average of 4. This we can change if you've got sensors that are very, very responsive and they move very, very quickly. You can slow down the reading so you can actually get a reading off them. And now we're back to the normal mode. That is how you set up a D-Guard. Very simple.